I don't know if you guys know this, but I actually grew up coming up here as a kid, so I'm very happy to be back in the state of Arizona. But I'm here tonight because of the nasty and fake attacks being launched on J.D. Vance by Kamala Harris's cruel campaign calling him anti-woman. Now, real quick show of hands, and if you guys can make it really loud, because let me tell you, I was in Nevada last night, and they took a clip of what I said, and they tried to make it like women didn't support him. So women, let me hear you real quick. Now, I don't know if the media will report that, but women, this is a question for you because we know the difference between men and women in this crowd. So women, yes or no? Do you think J.D. Vance is anti-woman? Let me hear that again. And one more time for Kamala Harris HQ because they try to spin what we said. Do you think J.D. Vance is anti-woman? That is what I thought. You know what's crazy about these attacks is it's being launched by a party that can't even define a woman. The same party that's trying to put men in women's sports and erasing mothers, calling us birthing persons and chest feeders. I don't know about you guys, but I'm not a chest feeder. And what's crazy is Kamala Harris has endorsed this radical ideology that is trying to erase motherhood. Is that not crazy? We don't believe in erasing families in this community, do we? And as a new mom, I find this particularly horrifying. In fact, last year when I had my son, to just put it in perspective, how hypocritical the Democrat Party is and how hypocritical Kamala Harris and her platform are, I actually proposed legislation because I had a very, very rough birth. And did you know that members of Congress recovering from birth cannot vote? Unacceptable. The Democrat Party blocked that. Hakeem Jeffries said, do not support this. And for those that might have struggled with actual getting pregnant, I actually proposed legislation that would help those mothers via IVF. And do you know what they did? They blocked it. The Democrat Party does not want you to have families. And if you want to protect families, if you want to empower mothers over big government, they will call you a radical and they will try to erase you. And we do not agree that that is acceptable in this country, correct? The reason why they're trying to attack JD and call him anti-woman is because he's a threat to the very narrative that the DNC is trying to say that the American dream should no longer exist. And I disagree with that notion, and I want J.D. Vance as our next vice president. What they're trying to do is to distract the public from Kamala Harris's border record. We all know that she was the border czar. I want to tell you guys about a real quick story. A couple of years ago, I was with Turning Point USA, and at the time, I was a counter-trafficking activist. I'm a United States Air Force veteran. I'm Hispanic. I'm now a mom. And let me tell you, I want to make sure that our border is locked down and that children and women are not being hurt on either side. My interaction with Kamala Harris is as follows. I walked up to her. She's running for president. I figured she might have solutions to the border crisis. And she asked me, do you want a selfie? No, Kamala, I don't want a selfie. I want solutions. And she could not provide that. You know what she did? I said it to her face, and she ran away. Big Kamala talking a big game, can't take it to her face. She runs away from problems. Well, guess what? Kamala, you're never going to be president. Now, this is a pretty level-headed crowd. I have some questions for you guys. Do you guys think that it's acceptable that Kamala Harris did nothing when 85,000 children went missing under her watch as border czar? Do you think it's acceptable that the trafficking, rape, and torture of Hispanic women and children, she turned a blind eye and did nothing? Would you ever tolerate that? Kamala Harris has zero motherly instincts. No mother, no parent would ever tolerate that. One child, even just one child, is too many. Do you think that it's acceptable that Kamala Harris did nothing about the fentanyl pouring into our communities and killing our children? See, whether you're black, white, Hispanic, rich or poor, it's affecting all people and we're hurting the same. Do you think that it's acceptable that she's done nothing, that our own children can't go to college without being raped and murdered? Last time I checked, we vote based on content and character and not skin color. And the fact is that Kamala Harris ran as president the first time. She's running it on the second time. Being a minority woman does not make you automatically qualified. I want to see your policies. And the fact is as a minority woman, she had a seat at the table and she did nothing, which is just as bad as turning a blind eye to the rape and torture of women and children in general. So we have a solution. I believe that when Trump gets elected, and I do believe that he'll be elected based on the polling, and J.D. Vance is put in charge of the border, I think that he's going to fix this problem. J.D. understands firsthand what happens when drugs and addiction impact your family and community. And what I will tell you is his family, where he came from and what he's been able to accomplish is the American dream. But did you know that Kamala Harris's team has now used MSNBC to launch terrible, cruel, and mean attacks on his children that are racially charged, might I add? Do you think that that's acceptable that they're going after JD's kids? As a veteran, what I will tell you is JD's learned total and complete accountability. When you see a problem, you fix it. And real quick, for our vets in the crowd, thank you so much for everything that you've done for our great nation. JD will show the true leadership that we need, unlike Kamala Harris, who's hid her border record just like she hid evidence about innocent men before she incarcerated them when she was a prosecutor. She's a cruel, cruel woman. So before I go, because we have some incredible speakers after me, I have a few more questions for you. Do we want a corrupt prosecutor in the White House? Who's going to be the 47th president of the United States? Who's going to be our next vice president? All right, guys, put your hands together and let's bring home the win this November. Thanks.